Hey everyone, I'm here with a quick video for you on Gia Giudice. Okay, she is Teresa Giudice's daughter from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and her father is Joe Giudice. And actually, Gia, for a moment, was on the news show Next Gen NYC on Bravo. Well, Gia is writing a letter to President Trump. She figured he's out here pardoning everybody else. Why not her dad? And actually, her dad did ask, please pardon me so that I can be able to come back to the United States freely to see my children. And I say, listen, this man did not do a violent crime. He did a crime, but it wasn't a violent crime. And Trump has pardoned some people that has done some violent crimes. So why not pardon Joe Giudice? So the question of the day is, people, do you think that Trump should pardon Joe Giudice? Let me go ahead and share a screen. Let me see where we at here, and we'll get a little bit more into this story. Let's hear Gia speak.
Hi guys, my name is Gia Giudice. I'm the daughter of Joe Giudice, and today I'm using my voice for something deeply personal. My dad was deported over 4 years ago. Since then, our family has lived in an emotional limbo. No matter how strong we try to be, the absence of a father, of a parent, is something that never stops hurting. Growing up, my dad was present at every cheer competition, every dance recital, holiday. He was our provider, our protector, and he still is, just now from thousands of miles away. Watching the Chrisley family receive a second chance inspired me. It showed me that people can be forgiven, that families can be restored, and that sometimes the justice system has room for grace. That gave me hope that maybe my dad could come home too. A pardon would mean more than just legal forgiveness. It would mean healing for my sisters, for my mom, for my family, and for me. We've missed birthdays, graduations, even the small moments that matter the most. This isn't just about one man. It's about a family who deserves to be whole again. I'm using my platform to speak not just as a public figure, but as a daughter who deeply misses her dad. We are not asking for sympathy. We're asking for a second chance. So let's bring Joe home together. President Donald J. Trump, I really hope you've received these character letters about my dad, Joe Giudice. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm here for her.
This is how I juggle passwords across.
Yes, I'm here for her. I do like her. I see her personality on the show, and again, her family. Her dad did not do like a violent crime. I believe in second chances. So Gia Giudice is now seeking a presidential pardon for her father, Joe Giudice, 6 years after he was deported to Italy following his fraud conviction. In 2014, Gia parents Joe and Teresa Giudice were sentenced to prison after they pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud and 3 types of bankruptcy fraud. While Teresa was released after serving 11 months behind bars, Joe, an Italian citizen who was brought to the U.S. as 1 year old, was deported back to his home country in 2019 following his release from prison. He now lives in the Bahamas and has been asking Trump for a second chance so he can reunite with his daughters. Inspired by the pardon Julie Christie were recently granted, Gia 24 is hopeful Trump will offer her father the same lenience. On July 4th, Gia shared video of her writing and mailing character letters to Trump, hopeful it would lead to a pardon. But Gia quickly faced backlash for her request, with followers calling her efforts amid recent ICE raids tone deaf and another dubbing it privilege at its finest. People are always going to just be mean. And I would say, you know what? Still do what you have to do, regardless of what people are saying about you. That is my, thought process. Hi, guys. My name is Gia Giudice. I'm the daughter of Joe Giudice, and today I'm using my voice for something deeply personal. She began in the video. My dad was deported over 4 years ago. Since then, our family has lived in an emotional limbo. No matter how strong we try to be, the absence of father, of a parent, is something that never stops hurting. Growing up, my dad was present at every cheer competition, every dance recital, holiday. He was our provider, our protector, and he still is, just now from thousands of miles away. Watching the Christie family receive a second chance inspired me. It showed me that people can be forgiven, that families can be restored, and that sometimes the justice system has room for grace. That gave me hope that maybe my dad could come home too. A pardon would mean more than just legal forgiveness. It would mean healing for my sisters, my mom, for my family, and for me. We miss birthdays, graduations, even small moments that matter the most. This isn't just about one man. It's about a family who deserves to be whole again. I'm using my platform to speak, not just as a public figure, but as a daughter who deeply missed her dad. We're not asking for sympathy. We're asking for a second chance. So let's bring Joe home together. President Donald Trump, I really hope you receive these character letters about my dad, Joe Giudice. Gia's post sparked mixed and heated response from followers. This is rather tone deaf considering your father committed a white collar crime and got deported, but people are getting deported and sent God knows where without even having criminal records. Your fans want you to use your influence to help the less fortunate, and I don't blame anyone for not having sympathy for your father who is dealing with consequences based off the choices he made. One wrote. Are you currently aware of what's going on with the immigration at this moment in the country? Shaking my head. Another asked. Wasn't he in the US for years and didn't pursue citizenship? With everything going on, your family is asking for a pardon. Y'all are beyond tone deaf. This is utterly ridiculous. Another role. Gia, your dad had years to become a citizen and didn't. He broke laws and this is his consequence. Why is he any different from anyone else who was deported for criminal behavior? Because he has daughters? Because he had money? The laws apply to everyone. I know you miss him and want him here. I get it, but he's only a flight away, and at least you can afford to visit. Regardless if he gets an exception, then why shouldn't everyone else? Maybe work on changing the laws for everyone instead of your dad getting special treatment. Mind you, this is an actual convicted felon, but go off, another said. Next, you can write various letters on behalf of all the families being ripped apart across the United States. Individuals that have not committed any crimes but are still being deported with no judicial process or judicial review. Your video is incredibly insensitive considering everything that is going on. Please do better, one wrote. Wait, she posted this on July 4th. The entitlement is absurd. Another pointed. Privilege at its finest. What advice would you give all the other young people who are having their families torn apart for far less reasons? I'm curious, one posted. Another called Gia and Minnie Savannah Christie, the woman who lobbied for her parents, Todd and Julie, to receive a pardon after they were found guilty in 2022 of defrauding banks out of $30 million. Okay, Minnie Savannah Christie, chill out, they wrote. The comment section did contain certain supporters, including Gia's mother and Joe's ex-wife, Teresa Giudice. She posted a string of red heart emojis. One said, get out of her comments with the negativity. It's her father, for goodness sake. Teresa and Joe were married from 1999 to 2020 and share 4 daughters together. Gia, Gabriella, 20, Milani, 19, and Adriana, 15. She is now married to Lewis. Joe has been pleading his case to the president on Instagram as of late. I am Joe Giudice. I served my time and I've been deported from the U.S. for nearly a decade. He recently wrote on the platform. Has it been that long? I was raised in Jersey. I'm a father of 4 amazing daughters, and I just want to be allowed to visit them again. President Trump, I respect you, and I'm asking for a second chance. Giudice's former Real House colleague, Siggy Flicker, who Trump appointed to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Council earlier this year, commented that she's working on it. Ficker wrote, I'm trying. Joe should be back home with his beautiful daughters. Giudice's criminal conviction and subsequent deportation also ended his marriage with his ex-wife, Teresa, also sentenced to 11 months inside. At the time of their conviction, the Justice Department released a statement that made an example of the former couple and highlighted the risks of cheating the government by failing to pay taxes. U.S. Attorney Paul J. Fishman said the Giudices together deceived financial institutions with patently false loan applications, were dishonest when they sought the protection of the bankruptcy court, and hid assets and income from the trustee. And Joe Giudice cheated the government by failing to pay taxes on years of significant income. When they pleaded guilty, both admitted swearing to statements they knew were lies. Prison is the appropriate penalty for these serious financial crimes. Giudice said in 2023 that he still didn't believe he did much wrong and slammed the U.S. for dumping him like a dog in Italy. He said, I got thrown into a country that I knew nothing about. All right, basically just dumped there like like I don't know, like I guess a doll. You know what I mean? Not even a dog gets dumps like that. And thank God Italy took me in and basically took care of me. They actually treated me like a person, not like the US. The US treats you like garbage. I mean, they treat their own citizens like garbage. You know what? I mean, it's ridiculous the way they treat people there when you get involved. Certain things like this. And audibly angry Giudice also complained he would never have been charged with fraud in the Bahamas or Italy, and claimed murderers get treated better than fraudsters in the US. The data three continued, I mean, my charges didn't even exist here. Tax things don't exist in the Bahamas. Tax things don't exist in Italy. You know what I mean? You just don't go to jail for that stuff. You know what I mean? You get a fine, you get whatever. But I mean, you don't go to jail. You don't break they don't break families up in, they like they do over there. Guess he was just angry when he was saying all of that. I mean, they throw people behind bars there for years for that stuff. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? A fine, a slap on the wrist, 6 months. Anything you do as a first offense should be more should be more than a fine, not 15 years or whatever the hell they give you, for certain things like this, which I've seen them do all in there. You know what I mean? Who had 20 years? Who had 30 years for tax things? You know what I mean? I'm not talking about you actually took someone's life. And I will say this, it's very true. There's some people who take someone's life and you're like, they only got 5 years. And I'm not saying you're not wrong for not paying your taxes, but 15 and 20 and 30 years, I think it does seem excessive, but we don't make the rules, right? When you do the crime, you don't get to choose the punishment. Murderers get out before people like do tax frauds in states. You know what I mean? First time you should get a slap on the wrist, fine, all right, take the money away, do whatever you got to do. But to break up a family and destroy their lives over one mistake, I don't think it's fair. Despite being furious over his jail sentence and deportation, Giudice said, as he did on Instagram, he hopes to overturn his deportation order and return to the U.S. to be closer to his daughters. You know, I'm of the mindset of, yeah, let's give you a second chance. Especially because it wasn't a violent crime. Now, if it's a violent crime, then you got to stay where you at. You can't come here. But it wasn't a violent crime, and I think he knows the severity now, and maybe has learned his lesson. And no matter what's going on in the world, if you shouldn't have to feel guilty if you are asking for a pardon or something for yourself or your family member, and then you can tag on perhaps at the end. Can we consider, being a little more lenient on everyone else too? I think they're beating her up, but listen, those are diva thoughts. Let me know yours. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Should Joe Giudice get a pardon? Are you like, no, heck no, he did a crime. Stay where you're at. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next video.